All right, let's get into it. Today, we're breaking down a really chilling Hindi horror story. It's all about supernatural revenge, and it asks a pretty heavy question. Are there some debts that can only be paid back with fire? This is the story of karma's unfailing justice.
You know, the story kicks off with this really powerful idea. It just sets the perfect tone, doesn't it? It tells you right away that the past isn't just going to haunt the present. Oh no, it's coming back to collect. So yeah, this isn't just your average ghost story. It's a story about consequences.
So, the first part of our story is all about a ritual that goes, well, terribly, terribly wrong. We start at the very edge of the human world, a place for endings that, in this story, turns into a terrifying new beginning. I want you to picture this, okay? A remote cremation ground, everything covered in a thick layer of ash. And there, in front of a dying funeral pyre, sits a powerful ascetic, an Agori sadhu. His body's covered in ash, his eyes are closed. He's deep in this powerful ritual, chanting mantras, trying to literally bind a spirit to his will. He thinks he's just about to succeed, right on the verge, and then bam! The fire just extinguishes. From the embers, a figure rises. It's the spirit of a woman. But she's not struggling, she's not chaotic. No, she's silent, she's calm, and her eyes just hold this incredible, unbearable authority. And the sadhu knows, instantly, he is no longer the one in control here. In a split second, all of his power is just dismantled. His sacred Rudraksha necklace shatters, the beads scattering into the ash. A thin red line appears on his chest, like he's been cut by an invisible blade. The air goes completely still, the river goes silent, and this once powerful sadhu just collapses, gasping in pure, absolute terror. He has just met a force so far beyond anything he could comprehend. And that brings us to the next part, the unraveling of power. See, that failed ritual wasn't just a one-time defeat. Oh no, it was the first thread to be pulled in the complete and total destruction of the sadhu's entire world.
He literally flees the cremation ground and runs back to his ashram, only to find it completely annihilated. Sacred texts are ripped to shreds, idols are shattered, years and years of his spiritual work just reduced to rubble. And the craziest part, the attack was surgical. Not a single other home in the village was touched. This storm definitely had a name on it.
Bit by bit, his spiritual authority is just stripped away. He tries to light his sacred fire, and it dies the second he touches it. He tries to chant his powerful mantras, but the words, they're just gone from his memory. And to make it all so much worse, to really deepen his torment, the ghostly laughter of a little girl starts echoing from the dark woods that surround him.
So as you can imagine, this leads our tormented sadhu on a frantic search for a name from the past. He is desperate for answers. He has to figure out who or what is doing this to him.
So where does he go? Right back to the scene of his failure, the cremation ground. And there, he finds a little wooden board that lists the names of everyone who was recently cremated. It clicks. He realizes the body on that pyre, the one whose spirit he tried to control, it belonged to someone specific.
And the name on the board is Aparajita. And right next to it, her identity. She was a Kinnar, a member of the South Asian transgender community. And there it is. The first piece of the puzzle falls right into place. This spirit has a name.
But just as he's trying to process this, a brand new mystery shows up. A ghostly whisper just snakes its way through the trees, and it's repeating a different name. A name that seems to unlock a deeper, darker, forgotten fear inside him. Ashwini.
And this, right here, is the crucial question that just blows the entire story wide open. The haunting that's happening now is directly tied to a crime from the past. To really understand the vengeance of Aparajita, we have to uncover the story of Ashwini.
And now, finally, the Kinnar's curse is revealed. The sadhu's memory is just forced open, dragging us all back to the horrific events that set this unholy retribution in motion in the first place.
The truth is, it's just horrifying. Ashwini was a young girl raised by the Kinnar community, and she was beloved for her message of tolerance and love. But the sadhu, well, he saw his spiritual authority being challenged by her influence, so he branded her a witch. He and his followers, they dragged her into the forest, and while the Kinnars pleaded for her life, they burned her alive. And in that moment of grief and pure rage, the Kinnars laid a curse on him and the entire village, swearing that every single one of them would pay. So, that brings us to the final act, karma's unfailing justice.
We're back in the present now, and we're about to witness that curse coming to its terrifying and explosive conclusion.
The curse finally lands. During a village wedding, what everyone thinks is just a short circuit triggers a massive, fiery explosion. It just consumes the entire celebration, everyone there. The Kinner's promise of an ending that would swallow the village is fulfilled in a literal storm of fire.
And this is the final chilling moment of poetic justice. The spirit of Aparajita appears before the sadhu. He begs for mercy, but there's none to be found. She lifts him into the air and drags him back to the very same cremation ground where her own body was burned. And there, surrounded by the spirits of the other Kinnars, they use the exact same kind of burning sandalwood from Ashwini's murder to set him ablaze. His crime is mirrored perfectly in his punishment.
The story ends by completing that opening thought, and it leaves us with this stark, powerful warning. It suggests that some acts of violence create an energy that you just can't destroy. It simply waits. It waits for the right moment to return and balance the scales. So what do you think? Is this justice, or is it just another turn in a terrible cycle of violence? That's a pretty haunting question to leave you with.